So value assessment effectively boils down to comparing the benefits, risks, and costs of alternative treatment options for a certain patient population. And in principle, we all more or less agree about that, about comparing the risks, benefits, and costs. And by bringing risk, benefits, and costs together, that's how we quantify the value of one treatment in comparison to another. But there's a lot of debate about what's the appropriate framework. There are different ways of how to bring this together. But even at a more fundamental level is what kind of evidence do we use to quantify value? How do we combine the different sources of evidence to quantify value? And that's currently not done in a really transparent manner. So I think that's definitely an improvement can be made there to make it more transparent. But on top of that, I think what's even more important is it arguably needs to be more patient-centered. And that doesn't mean simply collaborating with patient groups. I think we need to do a much better job. So when we start to think about value, either when we define frameworks or when we do actual analysis about the value of a certain medical technology, since these analyses are complex, we need to understand what are the important components, and as such we need to involve patients from the front end of doing these kind of analysis. So I think improvements can be made in terms of its credibility, how the science of value assessment in itself, but also to get a better understanding what is relevant for patients and acknowledge that patients are diverse. Patients have different preferences, and we need to do a better job to understand those preferences and the variation in those preferences and find the methods to properly incorporate those to do a better job in quantifying the value of a treatment.